What's going on, everybody? It's your main man, Apostle Raw, and I'm here to talk to you again. I believe this is our 4th episode, and today we will be going over public opinion and its influence on your life. Let's look at that for a second. Now, outer influence is 100% necessary for life, right? That's not something at all that I would ever argue with. I believe that, if we don't have wise counsel speaking to us, you know what I mean? And there's not people that are able to challenge your ideas and to help you grow in your whole thought process and who you're becoming, because how you think, as a man thinketh, so he is, right? And so as you're going through your thought processes, to not have anybody who you can sharpen with, right? Iron sharpens iron. You miss out on a lot of opportunity. However, when I'm talking about, the public influence, right? Or public opinion of how you're moving, what I'm talking about is falling in alignment with a culture, a worldview, a moral or integral subgroup that you don't actually align with at your core, and allowing that to dictate how it is that you're moving in life, right? So for example, you believe one woman, one man, being together, monogamous relationships, right? And everybody around you is just moving and floating through partners and different stuff like that. That is, you don't want their opinions of what it is that your decision making is leading you to be able to alter that to where you break away from what you believe is true and strong. And a lot of times as Christians, as a Christian, we're faced with that when we're going into different environments, we're going into, different places, we're dealing with different subcultures. Depending on your age, we've all gone through something that has captivated the world that does not fall in alignment with Christian character, right? And so, just giving a little bit of testimony or sharing a little bit of my life when I was young, and I was a kid, even when no one was around, there was this thought or this crowd in my mind. I'm not joking. And I didn't grow up saved or Christian or anything like that. I just grew up just get it how you live. And so there used to be like this little crowd in my mind, and it would determine whether or not this was cool enough, this was real enough, like, is you a real one, and all this type of stuff inside of my mind. And that had a great influence on my decisions, even when I didn't actually align with that thought or idea. If I knew that in the grand scope of things, with other people and how they would feel and how I would be perceived, accepted, received, you know what I mean? It was all about trying to get this temperamental and circumstantial, or, this fake love that you're trying to get from the streets or from wherever you're trying to get it from, and that played a really big part in my life. Even as someone who would have said I'm a leader, there was a worldview imposing on my personal view of things, right? So I would read books about Marcus Garvey and, Malcolm X, and, I would see the movies, you hear about Martin Luther King and these different great African-American leaders, black men that I looked up to. And there was a part of me that knew that there was integrity that I needed to stand on without anything other than what God was sending me through that, at that level of where I was at, but there was also the streets that was saying that, oh, that's square like type of stuff. And square meaning like not cool. That's not what you are, not fitting the mold of society in your area or region. You know what I mean? And so I want to talk about that today. How do we break out of that when it's not benefiting us? How do we break away from, ways of thinking and people, and how much influence does that have on us does that need to be pulled back, or does that need to be, taken more seriously? Because on the other hand, right, you have individuals who are not willing to listen to anything. And I've been there too, where it's like, man, I'm not finna hear what nobody got to say. I'm gonna do what I want to do. I'm gonna do it how I'm gonna do it. And when you don't have room inside of you, or the humility to accept correction, there's no place for anybody. No one has that place in your heart to really speak to you, you know what I'm saying, or that respect from you to be able to check you when you need to be checked, or to be able to correct you when you need to be corrected. It's just as dangerous, if not worse, as being a follower. You know what I'm saying? Someone who is completely unruly can do 10 times more damage, because depending on your emotional state, your mental state, your physical state, you might just go out here and do something that affects so many people, because all you're thinking about is what you're thinking about. You have no team. You know what I'm saying? The Bible says that we should have wise counsel when we're making decisions. We shouldn't just be making these humongous decisions or life decisions alone. In fact, when Adam was created, God looked at him in his earthly perfection, no sin, dominion over the earth, the fish, the bird, the crawling, creeping animals, all this. He had dominion over everything on the earth. And God said, it is not good that man should be alone. Right? So we know that even in the most perfected state, we are not meant to be these completely isolated individuals. We're not talking about whether you're introvert or extrovert. We're talking about being completely isolated. Something that depression would do to you, or a lack of trust in these type of things. Oh, I never had nobody that I could trust, man, so I don't trust nobody. It's all about what I'm doing. These things are extremely dangerous. So we want to understand, or we want to get to a place where we can analyze what public opinion is truly doing to us and how much influence we should have. What is the healthy amount, right? Who is qualified to speak into my life? I've heard it said otherwhere, the 5 closest people to you sum up who you are, right? And that's just one of those motivational quotes type of thing that you hear as you continue to listen to some of these most amazing speakers. I don't know how exactly accurate that is with that science, but I'm gonna tell you like this. The people that I hung around before, when I was in and out of jail, taking L's and doing all this dumb stuff, they fit that mold. Whereas today, the people that I select to be around are a lot different. And does my life completely match that? No. But they fit within the aspect of society that I'm running with, right? And so I think that's a big part of it. Qualifying who can actually speak into your life. Making sure that in at least the area that they're trying to speak into, they actually have some level of self-control, success, experience, and at the same time, a level of humility, because you don't want some big-headed person, coming in and talking spicy to you, talking crazy to you, you know what I mean, and try to have you as some like underling in their whole show. You know what I mean? Like, no, you have value. You are a human. You are, a person that deserves to be honored, respected, and loved. You know what I'm saying? Or at least that's what God says in the Bible, is that you have value, intrinsic value. And so we want to watch for those things. Is this somebody who actually wants to see me succeed in life? You know what I mean? Or is this the type of person that if I was to begin to excel beyond where they're at, that they would feel some type of way or try to pull me down? You know what I mean? Do they have some type of infatuation with being a rescuer, to where they'll pour into me, but the moment that I'm not dealing with pain, problems, and drama, now I'm a hindrance or I'm annoying to this person because I'm not failing? There's people like that, right? So we want to begin to qualify who's able to speak into our life. Another thing is, society-wise, if you know that the things that are going on around you are no good, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna talk real with y'all real quick. Them boys out there selling dope, them women out there selling their bodies, you know what I'm saying? Dudes buying bodies, right? Buying drugs, these type of things, hitting licks and all that. This is sad to say, the type of environments that I was growing up in, you know? So I had a different perspective for these things, being in that and being influenced by individuals who seen that as not only acceptable, but to excel in these areas of life was considered to be a real one, a real G. There was an attachment to that lifestyle of honor that, in all honesty, where I'm at now, I don't respect it like that. And I'm not saying people, I'm saying the lifestyle. I want to live higher than that. You know what I'm saying? And I know I'm not above no one. I'm not sitting here trying to act like I'm above no one, like I couldn't be there tomorrow if it isn't for the grace of God, because I could. You know what I mean? I could. I'm being realistic with myself, you know, and that's why I have to watch the influences that I have around me, just like you do. You know what I mean? Here's the thing, family. We have to make sure that the direction that we're trying to go in life, that we have people that are successful already, people that are on the path about the same as us, and people that are beginning that path that we can pour back into, because that's what it's all about. It's a cycle to this whole thing. You know what I mean? And you want to keep all those type of people. But what we're talking about is like-minded individuals, people that are successful, want to succeed, learning to succeed, growing, bettering themselves with a level of humility that can pour into you. And that's usually a tight-knit group. That's not usually a whole bunch of people. That usually doesn't come from the big-time movies and the best series out. It usually doesn't come from that. It comes from a tight-knit group of individuals who love one another. You know what I'm saying? Your ride or die people, like that's what people like to say, right? You know what I mean? In the Bible, that's called love. You know what I'm saying? That's that brotherly love that is in there, that sisterly love. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're really looking for. So, you know, basically what I'm trying to say, take a look at your life. Analyze who's in your life. Analyze what you're looking up to. What has become an idol? What do you idolize? We know God don't like that, right? So what if we begin to idolize? What are we looking as the pinnacle of success? What does that look like to you? And genuinely analyze whether or not that is moral, correct. Does that have integrity? Does that show that you have character? Right? And then look at the individuals who have excelled in that particular area. And what was the outcome? Was it success? Or was it like Frank Lucas, Nicky Barnes, everybody going to prison, everybody dying? You know, like what was it all worth? What was it all worth? Right? So that's how we begin to gauge what we're going to allow the public to speak into our lives. And then as far as influence, we're finding particular people that we can align with, that our hearts and our minds can align with, that hold similar values, who want to live by the same type of integrity and character. And we're aligning ourselves with these type of people and creating and forging relationships of trust so that we can stand in the gap for one another when we can't carry on by ourselves. If I say I'm gonna go vegan, I'm gonna exercise, I'm gonna do this, that, and the other, and everybody I kick it with just chills, plays video games, and eats fast food every day, completely out of shape, right? It's going to be harder. It's not going to be impossible, right? But it's going to be a lot harder because when I'm failing myself, when I'm challenged within myself to really step up, you know what I'm saying? When it's not fun anymore, when it's not enjoyable right now, when I'm not seeing the results that I want to because I'm just in the movement, I'm in the middle of the path, those people aren't going to encourage me to do that. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to encourage me more. 9 times out of 10, a good friend is going to encourage you even if they're making mistakes. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that somebody has to be doing what you're doing in order to encourage you. That's not true. They have to have the same values as you do, right? Like they have to believe in that. You know what I'm saying? And so finding people that hold to those same values, that see the same things that you see as valuable, is going to make the difference when it comes to influence. And when it comes to public opinion, we can only allow that to have any validity if we're in a setting where people are living the type of life that we respect, honor, want, desire, and are going for. That's the only time that really matters. Stop letting that stop you from being the best you. when you know in your heart what you truly feel is to live above it, to live above reproach. You know what I'm saying? Stand up for what you truly believe in your heart. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, man, sit down and pray with God and let him show you the greater things. Ask for wisdom. Ask for knowledge. The beginning of knowledge is the fear of the Lord, yet fools despise wisdom and instruction. Don't be foolish. Let us be wise, simply taking that first step. Okay, God said this. Let me put reverence and respect on his name. And I'm going to move in this way so that I can begin to fall in alignment with that which is righteous. Now we know Christ is our righteousness. So we're not trying to get no brownie points. We're just trying to get out the mud. Instead of getting it out the mud, get out the mud. You know what I'm saying? Let him cleanse you. He said he cleansed the inside of the cup and then the outside, right? And so that's what, that's my talking point today, man. Watch what you're allowing to influence you. Reevaluate yourself and see what you believe is valuable or not. Who are you at the end of the day? When it comes to character, what does that mean to you? Being a man or woman of character and integrity and honor and respect, to have morals, you know what I'm saying? To be able to control your behavior, to have a healthy emotional state, healthy mental state, to be physically healthy. What do these things mean, and how do we begin to chart what means what to us? It's a good question if you ask me. So that's what I got for you guys today. Again, my name is Apostle Raw. If you felt this video, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel because we're going to keep coming. Leave a comment if you have topics that you'd like to hear about, or what it is you felt like you got from this or didn't get from this. You know what I mean? But again, I appreciate you for walking this journey with me and allowing me to speak into your life. I hope that you have a wonderful and blessed day, and I'll see you guys next time.